Today, I'm gonna address overthinking, anxiety, repetitive thoughts, the whole movement of fighting your thoughts, uh, the whole battle between you and your thoughts, and what you can do instead, how to stop it. And you can absolutely stop it. You can be absolutely done with it. You can be finished with it. And again, this is a very concrete, hands-on exposure. And if you work really hard like me, you can be very clear on the whole mechanism and stop worrying about overthinking and anxiety once and for all. All right? So let's get into it. Thought cannot change thought. The basic illusion that we have is we believe when a negative thought appears, for example, I'm not good enough, or I'm worthless, or I'm a loser, or I have to change myself in order to be acceptable by someone, or they have certain expectations of me, yada yada yada. Then another thought comes, I need to fix it, or I should think positively, or why am I like this? Or if I keep doing that, they're gonna see that I'm nervous. Or, oh my god, I'm so nervous. And I'm gonna expose myself by it. Or people are gonna sense that I'm wrong. Yada, yada, yada. It feels like the second thought is working on the first one. It feels like you have this trigger here, I'm not good enough, that came from memory. Because something from the outside triggered that memory and you're used to that memory. And then the next the next chain of thought appears to work on that first initial thought. So it feels like the second thought is working on the first one. And it feels like it's doing something. It feels like you are doing something to it. It feels like there is a certain transformation that you can partake and change the way you behave. But in reality, it's just another thought. Pay real close attention. In reality, all those thoughts that appear after the first trigger thought are on the same level as the first thought. All those things do absolutely nothing. Okay? Let's keep going. There is no thinker using thoughts. Thought is not a tool. There is no separate entity operating on it. There is only thought appearing, thought creating reaction to this first thought, and thought trying to modify the previous thought. So the changer is made out of the same material as what it tries to change. You are already a part of the whole system. You are a part of thought. And we'll dive deeper into it. So for example, let's say the first thought is I'm a loser. We think that there is a certain separate entity we call I who is a loser, correct? However, and we think that we're separate. We think that I'm not a loser, but I think that I am a loser and I have to get rid of that part here so that I'm not a loser anymore. Hence why the other chain of thoughts appears to fight this thought here. The I am is already a part of thought. You are no different from any other quality that you prescribe to yourself. I am successful. I am loser. I am worthless. I am not good enough. Yada yada yada. There is no distinction. You are not separate from any quality that you prescribe to it, which doesn't mean it represents reality. It means that any other battle, any other justification that you use to prove otherwise is not gonna work, because you're playing by the rules of the first initial thought, which is not real. Simple way to see it. So for example, you have thought number 1. I'm anxious about the future. You're thinking, I am anxious about the future. Thought number 2 appears. I must stop being anxious. Thought number 3. Why am I anxious? Thought number 4. I need to understand it. And it feels like you're trying to do something, right? It feels like there's a certain solution. It feels like you're actually thinking. It feels like you can put an end to it. But this is not a movement toward resolution. This is a new thought. Every single thought is a new thought on top of another thought explaining the previous thought. And I here is the part of every single thought here. There is no separate you who is thinking every single one of those thoughts. But that's the misconception that all of us, the whole humanity makes. We think that there is a separate identity, someone who is thinking those things and who can solve those things separately. Someone who can solve overthinking, someone who can solve anxiety, someone who can do something in something psychologically. But you cannot, because I is already a part of it. It goes together with every single thought here. There is no center. You are literally every single thought that you have. You are that. I hope it makes sense. So now, why nothing actually changes? Thought, because it's limited, because it's based on memory, because it's only works in words and images, and because it's a library, every single word has an opposite, or every single word is connected by association with other words. So there is no way out. For example, I say apple, you say pear. I say black, you say white. I say camera, you say technology. I say nothing, you say everything. The same with your psychological world here. I'm nothing, I should be someone. I'm not good enough, I have to be good enough. Even though if you really pay attention, there is no metric. It's all abstraction because it's all internal. Alright? Thought can only create an opposite, create an explanation, create an ideal, and create an analysis. But all of those things are still thought. It never moves beyond itself. That's why you're struggling so much with anxiety and overthinking. You're trying to solve the problem that's not a real problem in the first place, that exists as an abstraction in the first place, and that doesn't have any external link to the outside world. So you want to resolve thought, I'm nothing, using another thought that created the problem in the first place. You see how absurd and absolutely meaningless the mechanism is working behind the closed doors, and we're so blinded and so mechanical. We just live and we accept all this suffering and anxiety. So I'm pointing out this very important overlooked a little simple thing that's going on in actuality. So analogy, it's gonna help a lot. So analogy, it's like a text trying to edit itself without an editor. Just more text on top of other text. So literally, I'm a loser, and you can put any example that you have, any internal bothering thought that you have. For example, I'm a loser. That's the first thought. And the second thought is you're trying to solve it. For example, let me analyze it. If you really pay attention to the whole movement, no one is doing anything there. It feels like it's doing something, it's not doing anything. No one is there who's doing anything. It's just content. This content is trying to change the first content. We think it's trying to do something, but nothing happens. It's just text on top of other text. It's like text trying to change another text, which is impossible because text is just text. The same with thoughts. Thought is just a thought. There is no real doer, real creator, real transformator, real observer who can change the substance of thought, because thought are just, it's like text on the screen. Nothing is going to change, but you think is going to change, and because you believe is going to change, you create so much tension, not only mentally, but also you can feel it in your body, right? There is so much discernment, so much tension in your chest, for example. And that's what creates anxiety, that's what creates overthinking, because you want to change thought using all the thought, and it's going in a loop forever. All right? And that's what we call suffering. The problem is, we think the first triggered thought is representative of the truth, which is not real. It's another abstraction. If it's psychological, it's abstraction. And you waste so much time on solving the problem that's not real, that doesn't exist, that doesn't represent anything, only itself as a content, and just meaningless conflict. So this is the key sentence. Thought cannot change thought, because the changer is also thought. You are thought yourself. And this is not existential. This is not scary. You're not gonna lose yourself, because there is no one to lose in the first place. There was never anyone who you can lose. Now, connection to the observer is observed. It's a very famous line, a very good phrase. I like it. It points out to the whole mechanism of how we work and operate. So who wants to change the thought? You can say, well, it's me. I want to change myself. But who is me? It's another thought. There's no difference between me and I want to change me and changing myself. Me is also on the same level as changing myself. There is no me who is thinking, I want to change myself, and who can act towards so-called me to actually change himself. So thought tries to change thought through the image of a thinker, which is also because image is also thought, essentially, from your memory. That's what you created, that's what you remember, and you've seen it somewhere, you remember it, and you bring it up when something triggers it. So that's the whole loop. And this is what we call anxiety, as I said, and overthinking. So real life examples. Perfectionism. I must be perfect. I must meet certain conditions to allow myself to work, or I have to meet a certain conditions to allow myself to talk to other people, to be productive, to be efficient. And then you fight with this thought. How do I stop being a perfectionist? This is not freedom from perfectionism. This is perfectionism in a new form. So when you're trying to work on the first thought, you already accepted that you are that, and you're trying to play by the rules of that thought. So you see what I mean? You already accepted. If you're fighting with the first thought, which is not real, by the way, it's abstraction in the first place. But if you're trying to fight this first thought, you already accepted it as the truth. So this is a truth for you in the moment. You accept the rules of this truth, that you must be perfect. And then you're trying to say how they stop being perfect. So you're being not perfect. You're trying to stop being perfectionist. So you created condition for yourself. Listen carefully. You created a very illusory condition to be perfect, and then you're saying to yourself how to stop being such a perfectionist. It's like a snake biting its own biting its own tail. Nothing's gonna happen, because it's always in a loop like that. The same with anxiety. I feel fear. How to remove fear? Which is fear trying to become non-fear. Impossible, because you are that. The fight creates the continuity for this fear to be present even more forever. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna solve it. So why seeing this ends struggle? Because the entire movement of self-fixing, self-improvement, self-analysis, becoming, even psychotherapy, reading all those philosophy books, talking to your friend, all of those things is not a real transformation. As I said, it's text. It's like a text on top of other text on top of other text. Nothing is changing. It's just more text. So when you truly grasp this whole idea that you are a part of the whole movement, and this is not easy nowadays because our brains are so dull, our brains are so just corrupted. You blindly believe every thought. You believe every thought. But if you grasp, it should click for you. This is not a lecture. This is actually a very serious topic that I want to share with people, and I want people to try very hard if you're serious, because it can radically change your life. Because if you see the absurdity and the movement of this whole, the thoughts, how they operate, imagine how much energy is released then. It's crazy amount of energy. It's so much fire in this. Because like from my experience, when you have so much overthinking, so much anxiety, you hate yourself, you're ashamed of yourself, you're like, I'm this, I'm that, there's certain conditions that have to be perfect, it's my personal pain, being perfectionist, being perfect. There's so much less energy left to actually take action on your work, on your career, sports, relationships. You're just all in yourself. And you're just tired all the time, and you're just not confident. You're just, even though confidence is another, abstraction, you don't need that, and I'll cover it in the next video. But anyways, imagine how much energy you can have if you finish it once and for all. And it's possible. It's not a fairy tale. This is so counterintuitive. It seems like a magic pill. It's not a magic pill. If you're serious enough, if you grasp this whole thing, think really hard, work really hard, it clicks for you, and it ends right then and there, because you see that you're part of this whole thing. You created the first trigger, and you're reacting to your first trigger, and you're creating that loop yourself, by yourself, for yourself. Please watch my other videos to have a fuller context, so yeah, you have a bigger picture on that. So the core insight: you are not a thinker changing your thoughts. You are the whole movement of thought itself. What I mean by that is, for example, I am a loser, or I am successful. Both I am and successful are you. And let me try to explain. This is hard to explain. Everything is hard to explain because it's all internal, right? You have your own interpretations, but we can still work it out. So I am, every single word is you. Not literally like apple. You're not apple. For example, table, and I'm saying you are that table. Not in that sense. You recognize every single word that I'm saying. For example, you recognize every single word that you're thinking. You recognize every single feeling that you have, which is another label. You recognize every single image that you have. So you are the whole process of recognizing every single word and every single process that's happening here. So you're not separate from whatever is happening here. You are that. So there is no point in fighting that, because you already have that, and it's charged emotionally. So just drop the whole conflict. Okay, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will make more videos to explain more and cover more, because this is very important, and you cannot explain the whole thing in a single video. All right.